Yo, yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, ladies, listen, I need to tell you that when you're dating, you're, talking to a guy, you're making things happen, you have to understand that you need to meet the man halfway. So what I mean by this is that you can't just sit back and expect the guy to do everything, right? And, a lot of you ladies have been brought up and trained to feel as if the guy is supposed to just do everything, right? And the thing is, if you don't meet him halfway, it's going to be showing him that you don't, or he's going to interpret that as you not really having that much interest in him. So, for example, I know a lot of women who a guy will call them and they'll just like ignore the call or whatever, or ignore the text. And then he'll text her again or try to call her again, and she'll be like, oh, well, I'll probably get back to him, in the next day or two, whatever, right? And so the guy's already called the woman twice, and she hasn't, picked up, hasn't returned the call. And then all of a sudden, he stops calling or texting. And then the girl is like, but why did he stop calling? Why did he stop texting? Like, what happened? Right? And so you're expecting him to call you again, but you haven't been responsive. You haven't returned his call. You aren't meeting him halfway. You just expect him to keep, calling you because you're thinking, well, if a guy really likes me, he's going to keep coming, trying to pursue me. But you're not meeting him halfway, so he doesn't even know you like him. He thinks you don't like him because you're not returning the call, right? So, you have to really basically meet these dudes halfway. You have to show some sort of interest. You understand? You can't have it where he's just the one contacting you, and then you just, either ignoring it or, you only text him when he texts you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You got to meet him halfway. Even sometimes when you guys go on dates and stuff, you can't just expect him to pay for everything all the time. Even if he wants to, right? You should still suggest, hey, let me get this one. Let me pay for half. Sometimes the guy might, these guys, they're on that traditional stuff. They're like, no, I'm paying for everything. And that's cool. Let them do that if they want to. But you still need to meet him halfway and show him that you're willing to do it. Right? So the thing is that if you're not meeting these guys halfway, it's going to show them, or they're going to interpret that as you not really being interested, or you sort of taking advantage of them. And then, after a while, they're just going to be like, why am I even bothering dealing with this girl? Because she's not really putting forth any effort or energy. You understand? So it's like, if a guy does something nice for you, it's okay for you to do something nice back for him. You understand? So like, let's say he, takes you to this cool place or whatever, and it's all great. You have a great date, and you can say, hey, listen, I had a great time. How about you come by my place and I'll cook dinner, and we'll, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're meeting him halfway. You're also putting in some sort of effort into this situation. You're showing him that you care and that you want to do certain things with him, that you're actually putting forth some energy into this, right? But if you're just sitting back and you're laying back and you're expecting him to do everything, and you're just like, well, I have female friends that I known over the years, and I hear a lot of this, oh, well, I don't do this, or I don't do that, or I will never call him first, or I would never approach this guy, or I never, you know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, yeah, you saying you're never going to do these things, but a lot of these things that you're not doing is hurting you in the end, as far as like your relationships go. Because a lot of this stuff where you're just being laid back all the time and expecting a guy to, pull through and do everything, even if you're being unresponsive, that's just going to, for him, he's going to be like, yo, this girl, she's not feeling me, or she's being like, like I'm not hearing from her or whatever. Nothing's really going on. It seems like I'm doing everything. And so I'm just going to move on, because it seems like she doesn't want me around. Seems like she's not really interested. And then I'm going to keep it moving. So it's important for you, to understand how to meet these guys halfway, right? And there's a difference between meeting him halfway versus being overbearing and doing way too much. So like if you're calling a guy 10 times a day, if you're, sending him a whole bunch of emails and stalking him and oh, how come we haven't seen each other in a day or whatever, like you're being way too much. You understand? But what I'm saying is if a guy, calls you, you call him back. You understand? Or, you haven't heard from the guy in like a couple of days, just say, hey, how you been? Just thinking about you, wanted to see what you're up to this weekend. Like you're showing also that you are invested in this, right? So that he can see like, oh, this girl actually likes me because I didn't need to call her today or yesterday in order for her to had to call me or hit me up. You understand? So he needs to see that sometimes. And that's how you make these things happen. All right. So that's it, ladies. Make sure you click the link below to get my free audio program, 7 Highly Effective Steps to Finding and Keeping a Man. And I will holler at you later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.